Hey everyone, this is Kevin, your entrepreneur, and Lyft has a new policy that I think is definitely a good one. It needs to happen. Uber definitely needs to do it. Anyone who wants to run one of these companies needs to do it. But is it enough? That's what we're going to discuss. And that is that Lyft is actually requiring all corporate employees to be Lyft drivers, at least a little bit. According to an article by CNET, soon all of the company's 2,000 plus corporate employees will be required to spend at least 4 hours every 3 months experiencing what drivers do on a daily basis. These hours can be fulfilled by staffing driver support calls, working in one of Lyft's driver hubs, or being a Lyft driver. And all new hires will participate in the program as part of Lyft's onboarding process. The aim of these new requirements is for corporate employees to better understand what drivers go through. Quote, "You want to walk a mile in someone's shoes or drive a mile in someone's seat," said someone named Waters from the company. "We look at it as a virtuous cycle," she continued. "When you have great drivers and happy passengers, it all feeds back into each other." Which, by the way, that is true. I mean, I know that there are people on here that say that Lyft and Uber are Lyft is just as bad as Uber, and you know what? Yeah, there is some serious merit to that. But you know what? Lyft treats the drivers just a little bit better, and it's amazing. It's amazing how just that little bit of common courtesy really equals a lot of loyalty from people who just feel like they get no respect from Uber whatsoever. I mean, I've done more than 2,000 rides from Uber. I always get an email thanking me for my good job. Nothing else about it. When I gave my 1,000th ride to Lyft, they gave me a jacket. A jacket. And I did an unboxing video. So, you know what? Little things like that go a real long way. And I think this is a good policy. Do I think this is actually going to change anything? Probably not. And there's a few reasons for that. First of all, there's a sentence about that the hours can be fulfilled by staffing driver support calls, working on a Lyft driver hubs, or being a Lyft driver. In my opinion, yeah, I think you should actually be forced to do all of them, not just pick and choose. So like you have to drive, you have to be part of the driver hub, and you have to field support calls. You have to do all of them. That's the first thing that I think that they're failing on. By picking and choosing, some people could be in corporate and just like do the driver hub. And the driver hub is essentially you're signing people up. That's all you're doing. So you don't understand what it's like to be a Lyft driver if you're just doing the driver hub. Secondly, they need to spend at least 4 hours every 3 months. I think they should be required to do 20 hours every 4 months with at least 8 hours dedicated to driving, and the rest can be 4 hours for the other two, and then the last 2 hours you can do whichever one you like the most, I suppose. But 4 hours every 3 months is not nearly enough. And of course, the third reason is because we've actually seen publicity stunts like this from other companies that have not resulted in better working conditions or pay. The biggest example is the CEO of Panera Bread, or I think he was the CEO. I don't know anymore. He decided to do a very big publicity stunt when the minimum wage discussion was really all the rage, and he announced that, I believe for like a month or maybe even two, something like that, he was going to live just off of minimum wage. And this is a guy who makes millions of dollars and very successful man. Probably forgot what it was like to live off minimum wage. He did it, and then he made like this huge announcement, like this big seal, like this is not doable. Minimum wage doesn't work at all. It just doesn't. We need to do better than this. And there was like a lot of hope that the CEO who actually did this would change things. Nothing changed though. He continued to pay his employees minimum wage. I think he eventually sold the company. I don't know really what happened, but I know he's not as big a role in the company because he probably looked at what the company was making and what raising the minimum wage would entail, and probably decided, well, it wasn't worth it for the company. So the only thing that which stood out to me about that really is that he made such a big deal about it that you would have hoped that some sort of change would have resulted from his epiphany, and there just wasn't any. So I definitely encourage Lyft corporate employees to do this. I actually think there should be more hours. They should be more stringent. Like, yeah, no, you actually can't be the CEO unless you do at least 20 hours of driving every 4 months. That's just a requirement. You have to be able to relate to your audience, who you're, hiring, who your workers are, who your drivers are. That's one of the main reasons I still drive, despite all of the hassles and how much I hate these companies. If I am not driving, I'm not relating to you guys. So that is why I do at least a little bit of it every week. Because I want to be able to tell you from personal experience whether something is working or whether something isn't working. That is just what I want to do. This has the potential to definitely be very good, but even if the higher ups do see how difficult it is, don't expect that anything is going to happen. Hopefully something will happen. Maybe they'll surprise me. I don't know. But we do have at least one example where a CEO very publicly lived off minimum wage, stated very flatly it didn't work, and then never raised the wages for his employees, and eventually sold the company, and he probably lives on an island somewhere now. Who knows? So, but I now leave that question to you. What do you guys think? Do you think this is like a good thing? Do you think maybe we could get something decent out of this? Or do you think this is like kind of like the Panera thing? It's more of a show than an actual do. I would love to know. Comment below. Like, favorite, share, subscribe. If you enjoy the videos, consider becoming a Patreon member for as little as $1 a month. And as always, flame responsibly. Have a good one.